So this is a video about bioresonant healing devices and how they work, because I've been using different types of electrical healing devices in my clinic for quite a few years with pretty amazing results. So I'm always upgrading and updating and learning about new technologies, and the recent one that I've been using is a bioresonance device using voice analysis. So it's essentially reading your voice, reading all the patterns and waves and resonant frequencies in your voice, and then turning that into an algorithm, and then comparing that to the library of information that's stored in the device to see whether or not you're in or out of harmony or in resonance or not with different things. So what is resonance? Why is resonance important in terms of human health? Well, we all know, most of us know, everything in the universe vibrates. And so if something vibrates, it can take on a different speed, and it can produce waveforms that come out of that. So you can imagine that if I drop a stone in the water, ripples come out inside the water in all directions from the drop of the force and also the vibration that that stone produces. And we measure those waves as what's known as frequency. And everything in the universe has different frequencies because everything's made of different types of arrangements of matter. Types of matter are going to produce different types of frequencies. So the human body is essentially made of water, where 99% of our molecules are water molecules. And inside of that we have minerals and salts and elements floating around, but we're mostly made of water. And inside of that water system, what is animating us or giving us life force or chi can be measured in terms of electricity. So we're literally electrical beings in a water system. And that electricity has been shown to be measured in terms of voltage in the human cells. Our cell, you can think about cells like the little bubbles of water with the elements and minerals and nutrients inside performing different activities. And on the cell membrane, there is a electrical charge, and then inside that nucleus, there's also places where electrical energy is produced and stored. So if our electrical energy goes down too much cellularly, we're going to present with a state of ill health. So that's why I use electrical devices in my clinic, because they actually really accelerate the healing process, and you can get really fast results with using electrical devices on the body. And another device, the one I'm going to talk about now, is using electricity and waveforms to rebalance the human health in terms of resonant frequencies. And the great thing about it is that it can be used remotely. So I can send these sounds to anyone in the world, and it's going to be specifically tailored to only that person, that individual. And just by hearing the sounds, it's actually going to start changing the balance of the resonant frequencies in their bodies. So what is resonance? Resonance, I can imagine it more easily if you think about the opera singer with the glass, the wine glass, right? So that wine glass, because of its materials that it's made from and the shape that it's been constructed in, will have a particular frequency. So you might have that wine glass and a slightly different wine glass. They're going to have slightly different frequencies because they were the thickness of the glass might be different from that one to that one. It might have slightly different elemental contents from the different two glasses. So every single thing in the universe has a very, very specific and unique frequency. And this has been proven and shown in different modalities throughout history. The famous one is Dr. Royal Rife. He was using frequencies to change people's health states. So coming back to the glass, what is the opera singer doing? When she sings, she's searching with her voice to find the same frequency, the same sound as what that glass is in its fundamental resonant tone. And when she finds it, she finds the same frequency, that glass will start, by one way of entrainment, that glass will start moving, or she's moving at the same speed as that glass. So she's entraining her voice to the resonant frequency of that glass, so they match. So they're now moving at the same frequency together. And when you add the same frequency to something else, it strengthens it. It becomes a stronger force. And that's basically called gaining amplitude. It gains strength in its sound. And so when she's singing and she's vibrating that glass to a point where the amplitude gets so strong that the glass breaks, because she's found the correct resonance, and then the amplitude has gotten so strong that it actually destroys the glass, because it can't contain so much energy, because it wasn't built for that. So that's basically what is resonance. So in terms of healing, inside the human body, everything has a resonant frequency. My eye cells, my toenail cells, my liver cells, my hair cells, parts of my spine, everything is going to have a different frequency or sound, like a big harmonic orchestra playing all the time. Just because we can't hear it doesn't mean it's not producing sounds and vibrations and frequencies. So the BioResonant technology that I'm using, it basically has stored inside of it a library of all different categories and then different frequencies pertaining to different items. And some of them are human body items, like organs or meridians or glands, and then some are actually things that we can add in to balance the human, such as minerals and vitamins and herbs and things like that, because that particular herb will have a particular frequency, and that particular vitamin will have a particular frequency, things like that. It's kind of hard to see here, so I'll flash it up on the screen, but it's basically, I've just scanned myself, and there's a whole lot of information in there that is specific to me, only me, and it's specific to me in the moment. So how does it do this? What it's doing is it reads my voice. I speak into it, and it reads my voice. It turns that into an algorithm, meaning that it turns it into a pattern that is the pattern formed from that voice from that moment in time. It also uses my photograph and my birth date, and then it compares that algorithm pattern to everything that's in the library: organs, minerals, vitamins, herbs. It also does things with emotions and Bach flower remedies and all this amazing stuff. It's all in there, and it compares my pattern to the patterns or frequencies in that library, and it finds, is my voice in harmony or in resonance with that particular herb or vitamin, or is it out of harmony? And it can show if it's in or out of harmony for maybe something more acute, like happened recently, or something more chronic that's maybe been giving me trouble for a long period of time. And then what you do in the next step is that you're basically going to reharmonize or come back into resonance with the things that you want to balance. And when you come back into resonance, or your organs, vitamins, minerals, they can find their true resonance again, that means that that energy, particular to that vitamin, mineral, herb, organ, will gain an amplitude. So that's basically strengthening the healthy cellular function through resonance. That's how it's working. And I've been using it on myself quite a lot. I noticed I started becoming more confident. I was walking more forcefully, with more energy, more confidence, strength, and on the third day of using it, I actually got out of bed and stood up straighter. Like I notably was standing up straighter, like, yeah, because it does all of your spine and everything. So I've been using it on quite a lot of people now. Everyone's had an amazing result, from mental, emotional problems, behavioral problems, to physical body problems, to just, yeah, feeling happier, lighter, more like lust for life, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so what's it got in here? It's divided into mind, body, and biofield. And for example, in the mind section, we've got bark flower essences, which are used to balance the emotions. There's the anatomy of the brain. There's emotions, the brain EEG, so the brain wave rhythm, and neurotransmitters, which are basically the hormones, electrical signaling in the brain to send messages. And then in the body, it's got an extensive list. Digestion, so if I push the digestion, it's then coming up with analyzing enzymes, small intestine, mouth, flora, liver, stomach, esophagus, large intestine, gallbladder, and pancreas. And then I can go into each one of these organs or systems, and then I can further differentiate things. So if there's something out of balance in there, which there isn't, amazing. So if I went into vitamins, and I can click on one of my vitamins, and then there's another panel that I can type into that anything emotional that's come up that's linked to my vitamin deficiency, any bark flower remedies I might need that can help my body become back in resonance with that vitamin, things like that. And then if so going vitamins, minerals, body systems, essential oils, electrical sensitivities, so it's picking up exposure to Wi-Fi and things like that, so it's great for people who are sensitive to that kind of thing, and help bring them back into harmony with themselves. Spinal energy, it is every single vertebra of the spine, which is amazing, because when you think about the nerves that come out of the spine, they feed into all of the organ systems. So this is a really holistic treatment modality, especially when you're using the spine, because your organ dysfunction might not necessarily be due to something going on with that organ. It might be because you've got twisted vertebra, or your muscles around that particular vertebra have had a spasm or something like that, making the electrical energy supply from the spinal nerve into that particular organ be deficient, and therefore if you get the spine back into alignment, the organ will come back online because it's now receiving electrical charge. So what else have we got? Sensitivities, so that's food sensitivities or environmental stuff. Herbs, amino acids are what we make proteins from in the DNA. Glands, today's stress, hormones, infection, and energetic disturbances. So here is the really awesome one I've been using. It's got parasites, bacteria, funguses, biofilm, viruses, Lyme disease, and mold. So where I live, it's in a tropical climate. I've been having problems with all that, and so I can go, into parasites, and then I write in here parasites, and then it's going to come up with a list of all potential parasites that are picked up in my biofield. They may or may not relate. It is a bit of a slightly subjective in that way, but yeah, it's an art. So then what else have we got? And then in the biofield, you've got chakras, which I don't use because I've removed my chakras. I have made a video on that if you're interested why. It's got aura, so I can analyze my aura. This is the scan I did earlier today. Oh, you can't see it because of the light. There it is. That's my aura from the most recent scan. And then when I do a treatment on myself or anyone else, and then I can rescan that aura afterwards, and it will change. So this technology is actually quite dynamic. It is changing and recording the results. And then we have solfeggio tones, nogia, which are kind of like harmonics that will help harmonize the entire treatment. The meridian system for Chinese medicine, and you can go into every single acupuncture point and it will show if it's deficient or blocked. And then the sacred geometry, because humans are essentially, our blueprint is made of patterns that come through as sacred geometrical expressions. And then the spiritual protection, which is very, very, very good, because a lot of the problems that we're encountering at the moment that we don't really know that are affecting us are things like things that come through the media, the frequencies that come through the TV or the Wi-Fi or the social media, that is not necessarily very beneficial to us. So having a strong protection for that is something that I've found to be really useful and necessary at this time, especially with the year that we had last year. It's all getting a bit what would be the word, hectic, with trying to just stay balanced in a clearly insane world. But it's possible. Every day is a roller coaster, but I've found that using this kind of stuff helps me be able to find my balance a bit more easily. So anyway, if you want to try it, you want to find out more about it, you can get in contact with me. It does work remotely, which is fabulous, because I've been sending these frequencies to people all over the world, and they're all having quite an amazing effect. Some effects very profound, and it's all just through frequency, because everything is made of matter that vibrates, that produces certain sounds or tones or frequencies. And then if we can bring those back into balance relative to ourself, our unique being, then we're going to be able to glide through life. And one more thing that I find quite fascinating is that years ago, it was 2009, I started studying Ayurveda. I enrolled for an Ayurveda diploma course. And before I started the course, I had a dream. And in the dream, I was in the building, in the premise where the course was to be held. And there was a big long hallway with all these doors. And I was pulled into one of the rooms by a person. And this person gave me this handheld device, and they were wearing a white coat, like looking like a doctor, and they said, "Here, treat the patient." And they gave me this device to treat the patient with, and then they walked out. And I was like, well, I'm not a doctor, I don't know what to do. And the device was like a remote, and I scanned the patient, and it came up with this orange light, like a scanner. And then when I found this technology, you'll be fascinated to see this. I don't know if you can see this orange light. So that's scanning all of the relatable insights into one particular item on the list. And so I saw this technology doing that with the same orange beam of light, and I was like, oh my god, that's the technology from my dream from 2009. So more than 10 years later, dream becomes reality, and this works. It really, really works.